Good evening everybody, welcome back to another Chart Nerd TA video. We're going to be diving back into Telcoin, the ticker is TEL against USDT on the weekly time frame. Now I'm just going to give a quick breakthrough and a rundown, a quick breakdown should I say, of how TEL went from its all-time high and how it kind of progressed through this bear market and into where we are now in this space here. Looking to move forward. So you can see again this trend line of resistance is very strong resistance for TEL. I am going to extend this actually, to be fair, off these wicks here, but you can see that this is a very strong resistance trend line for Telcoin, okay, since May 2021. Support, resistance, okay. So what happened at this point here, you did have some sort of A, B, C flat correction, and then at this point again back into resistance. You had another A, a B, a C, okay, and then this confirmed you had 2 points of resistance, depleting buying pressure because you was putting in lower highs at this point, okay. You had a high, a lower high, and you had this level of support here for TEL previously back in all the way from May up until January actually of 2022. Now at this point in January you can see, okay, you was in this descending sort of triangle pattern and this support was lost. Now we lost that support, came down to support back on this wick low here in April 2021, and at this point we had a rally back into this previous support that we was holding of the neckline of the descending triangle and turn that support into resistance. So moving forward, this red line here I'm going to be looking for to be met as resistance at some point for Telcoin in the near future, and also because what it is this descending triangle, it's the horizontal level of support for that descending triangle. So you've lost the support of the descending triangle, and potentially what you're trying to do right now is work your way back up to this ascending triangle previous support and look to meet that as resistance moving forward. So does it have to get there? Of course not. Could we run into resistance right now and potentially come back for a higher low? Of course we could. Could we lose our local lows? Of course we could. Anything is possible, guys, okay? It's all a guessing game and just looking at patterns and support and resistance. So again, keeping this descending triangle in mind, you can see that from the peak of the triangle down to its neckline, when this support was actually lost and turned into resistance, Telcoin did come down and meet its technical target, and in fact it did have a bit of an overextension for a couple of weeks down here in October, but since then you've met that target, okay. So you've met that target at that low right there, and since then you've come up and you've been holding this support line, this trend line right here, okay. So this white trend line I've got, and you've been holding this as support since these lows back in October, okay. So this trend line is acting as very strong support here, and I do think potentially what we're looking for right now is a retracement back up to this previous area of support that was held, okay, where you started to melt out here in the bull run for Telcoin, and potentially what you're doing is looking to run back into this as resistance, okay. So it was once support and now we've turned it into resistance once, and we could be looking for our second point of contact here whilst we're coiling up in this sort of area of support and resistance, where you're caught between this neckline of resistance here and you're holding support on this ascending support line since October. So things are getting very compressed at the moment. You can see you're being compressed between resistance and support, and you are sort of coiling up in this ascending triangle pattern here looking for a breakout. What we do need to keep in mind here is we do have a level of resistance I want to keep a lookout for Telcoin, because potentially what we could see is this ascending triangle resistance broken, okay, and you hold that as support, and the next level of resistance for me would be back up here where we was holding support and had previous support here in 2021 and 2022 of March. So again, there's areas that you need to work in waveforms, breaking through levels of resistance, holding them as support to confirm, okay, once you've tackled that one, you reach this resistance point of previous support, come back to this trend line here and look to break out and run back up to this March 2022 area of resistance of this descending triangle, okay. So this is where I think Telcoin is trying to get to, and again, to get to that stage we do need to continue holding support here on this trend line. You can see you're literally bouncing up on here, lovely, okay, and as long as you coil up here and do start to tackle out this resistance, this gives confirmation that your next point of contact at that point is coming up to this resistance point here, of which I said was previous support back in March 2022, where you rallied into the neckline of the descending triangle and confirmed it as resistance to put in that impulsive low. again, does this have to happen right now? Of course not. If you see the negative scenario here, okay, if we do see the negative play and we do fail to reach these targets, which offers us a long of 28% back up to this resistance point at 328414, I do believe this is where we're trying to get to. And it's all about what happens at this point and if we do get there. So potentially we could be looking for that long back into resistance for a second time. And this is what I think, if we see a last leg on Bitcoin, this is my target, okay, back up to this area and this current price tag of 3269 for Telcoin. And again, as I said, it offers you a 28% long op, okay? So I think to confirm that, what we need to see is the weekly close above this little level of resistance here, because what you've got is potentially some sort of smaller ascending triangle coiling up here. And if you do get the breakout of this ascending triangle from there to there, you can see that if you start to close above these weekly closes here, you are looking for that long, and you will be taking out this local high, which then gives me more confidence that you're looking to attempt to attack this level of previous support and turning, again, as you can see here, it was support, met it as resistance, crashed. Okay, right now you're starting to coil up. If you do tackle out of this level of resistance, I think for me, and hold it as support, for me, you are looking to retrace back to this previous support and then turn that into resistance. Now, if we do manage to get to that stage, okay, and we do see Telcoin rally up to this level of resistance, I think this could be a large wave one here, complete, and you could be coming at this point for a larger pullback for support, potentially on this double bottom neckline here, where you've broke out, held support, met a technical target, come back for support once more on this neckline of this double bottom, and then get your continuation where you're looking for your massive third impulsive wave here, and you're flipping the switch for Telcoin. Okay, so again, sorry, that's extremely messy. But this is, again, the bearish case scenario here. What we could be looking at is potentially this is an A wave, this is a B. If we fail to close above here and we do start retracing, we could have a C wave back down to this neckline of the double bottom in the near short term, and we don't actually put in that impulsive move up to these 30% highs here in this level of resistance. Instead, we've got an A, a B, and if you lose this neckline, okay, and you lose this line of support here for TEL, it could be quite negative, and you could be looking to retrace back down to where you actually started to form this last impulsive move, again, which would be an A, a B, and a C. So where could we be looking for that C wave to end if we do create a B wave here and fail to reach this target? Well, what we could be looking for, and the only reason, sorry guys, the only reason I say why we potentially may not reach up to this target here is because we've got the golden ratio and the key areas of resistance above us that we need to break through. You can see we're toying around right now. So if we fail to break through this 0618, that negates the fact that you are looking to retrace up to this local high here. It negates it. So you do have to keep in mind, we need to see the confirmation and closes above the 1618 and to confirm we're going to attack this trend line. Otherwise, as I said, if you do meet this as resistance, you've potentially got an A, this is your B, and then you've got a C wave that could be coming down here. So let's look to see where that C wave potentially could be. If we do have that, what we're doing is we're retracing from this local high right back down to the October lows for Telcoin here. And what you can see is, currently speaking, we have retraced to the 050 as support, and we are getting a lovely bounce off that. But if we fail to tackle above the 050 resistance and fail to close, I think potentially you're looking for a retracement back down to this 0618. Now, it all depends on what happens at this point, because you could be in a wave one, this is your top, you've got an A, a B, a C, wave two, and it's all about holding this golden ratio, because you'd have a low, you'd need a high, and you'd need to cover and hold a higher low in order to get your confirmation that you're going to re-attack this high. Okay, so that is potentially a play here. It's very uncertain at the moment because Bitcoin's very, in my eyes, it looks a little toppy, but it also looks like it could have a little bit more of a run up to around 25K. And if it does, I think if Bitcoin does hold support and you do see the breakout in these closes here in this ascending triangle, as I've said, guys, you do have the target back up to this level of resistance, okay, which is a potential 28% long up, isn't it? I think we said 29%. Okay, but it's all about closing above this neckline here, okay, and getting closes above that for Telcoin to confirm you're going to go up. Otherwise, again, as I said, you're running into a 0618 and dead cat bounce resistance back down to support, losing this neckline. Again, it could get nasty there for Telcoin if this golden ratio is lost. So that's the bullish and bearish outlooks for you today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's content. If you did, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Did I measure this target here? And I want to show you guys some confluence again. If you do start to break out of this resistance target here, because you can see you're starting to coil up in this ascending pattern. If we do start to break out, you've got an ascending triangle target that puts you back up to this level of resistance back in March also. Okay, so we've got this resistance point we need to break. You can see we need to close above that, and then if we do, I think you're looking to run up to this resistance point here for Telcoin in the near future, which is also the neckline of this descending triangle that you would be back testing over time. So I do think that's where we're trying to get to, but again, we've got lots of levels of resistance above us. We can still come back for a pullback at this point and lose this support, okay, which would be very negative. So we do need to keep an eye on it. As I said, look for the weekly closes above these candles, okay? Look for the coil up, the closes, and at least retracing to this point. Again, as I said, that could be your wave 1-2, come back for a larger pullback, and then look to attack this next level of resistance, okay, moving forward. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for my next videos from Chart Nerd TA. Take care, guys. Peace out.